So I've finally taken the plunge and I installed the Godot game engine a couple of days ago. Been watching tutorial videos about it, and when I first installed it I was kind of feeling intimidated about it, but now that I've been watching some videos and start to understand like how it works, it feels really approachable, and I really think that I can actually do it. So I thought about calling this the video of like me taking a plunge to start getting into a game development, but it actually doesn't make any sense to call it that, because when I started thinking about it before making this video, I realized like it's something that I've always been at least like tipping my toes into, something like that. Like, because when I was a kid, I don't know how old exactly, but 10 years old, something like that. Old enough to remember, but not old enough to really have a concept of what game development is. And my parents would ask, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember I said, I want to be a game maker. I used the word game maker because I obviously didn't have any concept of what game development really is. In my mind, it was just putting together the cartridges, I was like it was still at the cartridge era. Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. So I thought it's like soldering circuit boards or something. Like, I had no idea like how it worked. And my parents said like, just you gotta get in school and do well in school, which probably actually like set me back, because whenever I did like programming or stuff like that in school, like I just couldn't get into it. Like it put me off game development, if anything. Obviously I've kind of dabbled with like program related stuff since, but yeah, I mean, it put me off. It was more unapproachable for me. But I said like I've been tipping my toes into the game development in a sense the whole time. So it's like this has been my dream for me all my life. And whenever I was a kid, as I was a kid, whenever there was like some sort of a customization available for the game, or an editor or a level editor or a scenario maker or whatever that I could customize in a game, I would always use those, because it was all about the creativity within the game for me, even as a kid. Like, I remember the original Unreal Engine, the first Unreal, it had the editor. Very intimidating. Like I remembered that feeling of intimidation looking at the scripts in Unreal Engine, the original Unreal Engine, the Unreal editor, back in like 2000. And I remember that when I looked at the Godot for the first time. As a kid, I never really figured out like the deeper inner workings of the Unreal editor, but I figured it out to such an extent that I could create some levels to the original Unreal. Like, we made some simple deathmatch maps and stuff like that, me and my brother, back in the day. But so yeah, that was a good example. Another example I remember distinctly was the Jacked Alliance Deadly Games. That one had a scenario editor. I created like elaborate stories. And if you look at my account, like this account that I'm posting, the YouTube account, my videos on this account are Armored Assault 3 videos primarily. And I'm not playing Armored Assault 3 because I'm such a military simulation fan. Of course not. Not really. I mean, I like the game, but I'm not like crazy about the game. It's just what makes me spend so much time with that game is because it's more of an engine than a game, really, and then it has a very powerful but yet approachable editor, which you could create missions with. And so that's basically been my gateway drug to game development. Or you could think of it as sort of a form of game development anyway, when you develop missions for the game. So I've basically spent like last few years learning to get even better with that game, but obviously it's like I'm still confined to the limitations of the game. Like it has to be like kind of a realistic war situations, scenarios, and so the creativity is not like fully unleashed there. So getting like a real game engine like that can do both 2D and 3D games, and like basically there is no limitations. It's gonna be like really exciting going forward. I still felt like I wanted to talk about more like more examples about my childhood, like games that I did editing for, but I don't know. I'm not, nothing is like occurring to me off the bat. But like I said, I've always been into it. Like it's always been my dream to be a game developer ultimately, and I've always used whatever utilities I can to make content within the games that I liked. But you know, at the time, you know, I didn't feel like whenever I'd see like a programming or anything that's too complicated, I wouldn't have like the I wouldn't have the patience to work hard and figure it out. And also I probably like lacked the inner belief that I could even learn it. Like I can see it in my son now. Like the kid really loves video games. Like he's really passionate about them, and I can see myself in him. But also it's like whenever there's something difficult to figure out, he kind of gives up on himself pretty much immediately. Like the whole not giving up on myself and not believing that there is no reason that I'm not good enough for this. That whole thing I learned much later than as a kid, and the whole determination that you can actually learn difficult skills even if you just put the time in. That all came much later. Like that's not like innate. Like I have to like learn that through practical experience. But yeah, that's a long 1 minute way to say that I've installed Godot. I'm learning to use it, and I'm gonna like start like creating projects with it. But obviously, it's a long way from starting a project like this to actually have anything like that's even a playable game, or let alone like a full-fledged, fully developed game with like a lot of content. It's still a long process to get all the way there, but now it's like real. Like it's not dipping my toe anymore. It's actually getting into it, and like Godot is really approachable, and there's a lot of like tutorials, and also like I could like I've already like explored like with a lot of content to just freely like download, and you know, helps you really understand the engine. But yeah, I'm just sort of a starter video, introduction, so to speak. I'm gonna be making more updates going forward. Once I get like really actually started with some like gaming projects, but I have a lot of ideas in my head. Like it's like sort of an obsession. It's obsessive thinking at this point. Like what should I start with, and like what can I start with? Like it's like in a 2D game, you're more limited with the kind of art that you have. Like you have to learn to do art too, like or hire an artist if you want to do a 2D game. Whereas with 3D game, you can do some sort of like simple polygon graphics probably pretty easily, and you could create a game with that. But yeah, I don't know. There's no conclusion to this video. This is obviously just like me me announcing that I am actually doing it for real this time, and it's like I'm committed to this journey now. So yeah, it's not the actual start of my game development journey, but it is in a way that it's like more serious. Like at 36 years old, I finally tried to fulfill my childhood dream, which was to be a game developer. Obviously, I called it a different word then because I didn't have any idea what it is. But you know, it's a realization that this is something that you've always loved and been into, and kind of seeing from afterwards that all those experiences with the games that you were tinkering with, you know, as a child and as a teenager and as a young adult, all of that kind of built up towards this moment where you finally like gets like serious about it, it's kind of like what I did in my fitness. Like I've always been training and athletic, but I got serious about it like 2-3 years ago, and that's when my physique actually changed. So same kind of thing, like 2 or 3 years from now, who knows where I am with this whole game development thing. But now it's like decision, concrete, determined decision has been made, conscious decision has been made to actually pursue this with like a lot of effort and maybe to some extent some obsession with it. But I mean, it's a natural kind of obsession. Like I said, it's always been natural for me. Like, and people get good at things that they've always been into, like that they are naturally like gravitating towards. So it's like it's easy to put in effort in something that you like, as opposed to, you know, something that you're just doing for a paycheck, or learning because you have to because your teacher said so or something. Anyhow, I'm gonna stop my rambling. I got cut on some tangents there. I think that's the kind of like, that's a good moment to wrap it up. Leave some comment. It helps the algorithm, and you know, if you're interested in seeing any further updates, obviously you might want to subscribe too. And anyway, yeah, see you next time. See you when I have something else to update, maybe something to show in terms of like actual work created.